guys, I'm here with another video today, and this one's a little bit different. It's not going to be showing off anything new. It's just going to be me kind of talking about why I think silver stacking is important and why I think that you should hop on board today if you haven't started. And mostly, I guess what I'm going to get at is why silver and not gold for today. Obviously, I think there are benefits to both. I think everybody should diversify and you should have a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, or whatever. Personally, I don't have any gold, and I'll get into that in a minute. But this isn't anti-gold stacking or anti-anything stacking, copper, nickel, whatever you want to stack, but it's pro-silver stacking. So I'm going to start off with just a few figures that a lot of you have already heard, but maybe I can get into a little bit more detail that isn't regurgitated as frequently as it should be. What I have here is I have 10 ounces of silver. Okay, this 10 ounces of silver is how much silver is pulled out of the ground on accident, mostly, while mining corporations are looking for gold. So silver, the majority of silver is a byproduct of gold mining or other precious metal mining or any other type of mining. There's a lot of silver in the ground and it gets pulled out on accident and on purpose. So a lot of it that's not the miner's intent, is to solely find silver. But anyways, it comes out of the ground at a ratio of 10 ounces to 1 ounce of gold. But there's an issue with that. So historically and now, there are a lot of technologies that are using gold and are using silver to help fuel technological growth. And turns out that silver is much more common in industry than gold is. So that's a few things like they use it for plating of circuitry. They use it for new types of batteries. They use it for sterilization purposes and filters and in medical applications. They use it for its reflective qualities in mirrors, or even its ability to be used in film, like for X-rays in the medical field. But gold has its uses too, mostly because it's super inert, doesn't react with a lot of things, and it can't oxidize. But the uses for silver are generally far more abundant than the industrial uses for gold. Another cool, I guess, fact is even with this disparity between the gold to silver ratio, where it should be 10 to 1, 10 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold, turns out that people still invest more in gold for some reason. That for every $7 put into gold, only 1 is put into silver. So people are undervaluing silver because they're fascinated with gold, as everybody's been fascinated with gold for all of history. So that's kind of weird to me, but for some reason the price of gold is about 70 times that per ounce as silver is. So it would cost me 70 of these to buy 1 ounce of gold, where it should only cost me 10 of these to buy 1 ounce of gold. And it's always been skewed like that. The historical silver to gold ratio is 15 silver to 1 ounce of gold. So people have always been skewed in the gold direction, and I guess my message is that we need to stop that mentality, because clearly silver has a more of a practical and industrial use, and it's being undervalued for some reason. I have a couple more facts to spew here. Since 1950, the silver stocks went from 10 billion ounces in above ground storage to 500 million ounces. So that's like that's a big drop, 10 billion to 500 million. Whereas gold, since 1950 in above ground storage, has gone from 1 billion ounces to 7 billion ounces. So it turns out that our main use for gold is just to stockpile it, whereas our main use for silver is other applications, and we can't keep up. Like our above ground stocks, our stockpiles have been diminishing over time. In fact, since 2003 alone, China's solar industry has been increasing 100% a year, and that's about 100 million ounces of silver a year. So if we only have 500 million ounces above ground storage, and China's going to be demanding 100 million ounces a year, then our above ground stockpiles will be depleted in less than 5 years if we decide that mining costs have gotten too high and we can't functionally get silver out of the ground at the same rate as we used to, because it's not as easy anymore. Now, yes, we will still be mining silver, and we will still be mining other precious metals, and therefore silver will be a result. But say it all stopped, we only have 5 more years for just solar alone, and solar is not the largest silver usage in industrial terms. In fact, silver storage is so low right now that the last time it was this low was in 1300 AD. So it hasn't been this low in almost 700 years, which is astonishing to me that eventually this will get realized, and eventually there will be a huge industrial demand. And when ginormous companies can't profit off of their technology and their industry prowess, they're going to be demanding more silver, and that's when I believe the silver cost will increase. And so that gets into why I don't have gold right now, I guess. Why I don't have gold right now is because the ratio is 70 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. And given the growing demand for silver and not so much growing demand for gold, that gap will start to close. And I've mentioned this before in a different video, but soon enough, one of two things will happen. Either gold prices will decrease to encourage silver stackers or silver people that have silver to trade it for gold, which I would do if the ratio got down to 50 or 45 to 1. Or the silver cost is going to increase to close that gap, and that all of this is just going to be to encourage us to switch over to gold. There's a reason why we're stockpiling gold and not using it, and there's a reason why silver is so cheap right now. And I believe that reason is silver's cheap to keep industry able to be competitive and to keep technological advancements at a good pace. Gold is expensive to keep people from trying to stockpile it, and then eventually when silver becomes too demanding, or the demand for silver becomes higher, they will close that gap artificially somehow, or naturally, and all of a sudden we'll be trading in our silver for the gold, and then the silver will be back and usable for industrial and technology purposes. Now, if you don't want to buy into that little conspiracy that I just spewed out, that's fine too, but just realize the facts, and the facts are that eventually silver and gold ratio will become tighter, and likely that will be by an increased silver price. And if that means anything to you, then you should buy silver. And you should stack silver, and you should invest in silver, and you should try to save your money and preserve your wealth in silver. Because if silver goes up, the dollar goes down, and your dollar's not going to be worth what it was yesterday. But your silver will still maintain its same buying power, or it will gain buying power. So I guess that's all I wanted to say. Sorry the visuals weren't super interesting. There's nothing new for me to show you today, but I just had that information that I really wanted to kind of get out there, because every time I explain why silver is important to me, I feel like I always have to touch on those points, and I have to re-explain that to every person that doesn't believe in silver. And I guess if I have to do that in my personal life and in my normal setting, there are probably people on YouTube that don't fully grasp this argument either. So hopefully that helps. If you guys have things to correct me on, things to suggest that I didn't cover, or just other thoughts about this topic, I would love to hear what you have to say, because I'm not like a prophet, I'm not a guru, I'm just a guy that does some research, and two, I'm super interested in the future of silver. So help me out, give me some ideas, give me your ideas, how you feel on it, and yeah, let's turn this into a discussion. Thanks for watching, guys. It was good to get another one of these underway.